Tonight, listen, because I am speaking. Not in thunder that shatters mountains, not in fire that frightens the heart, but in the quiet weight of truth that settles into your spirit when the world finally grows still. This is the hour when veils thin, when attention sharpens, when meaning hides inside silence. I am the one who formed you before your name was known, and I speak now not to command fear, but to awaken remembrance. You did not arrive in this moment by accident. You were drawn here because something within you already knew that this night would carry a message meant for you. At 9, when the clocks agree and the noise of the day exhales, I allow my messenger Michael to stand near. Archangel of courage, guardian of thresholds, he does not come with spectacle, but with clarity. He reveals what has been unfolding quietly behind the scenes of your life. You have wondered why delays repeated, why doors seemed half open and then paused, why effort did not always meet outcome. This was not neglect. This was preparation. Timing is not punishment, it is alignment. What you called waiting, I called shaping. I know the weight you have carried. I have seen the calculations in your mind, the silent worries about provision, about stability, about how to honor your responsibilities without losing your peace. Hear me carefully, I am not unaware of your needs. I am not distant from your reality. Provision is not only a number or a transfer or a sudden change, it is the orchestration of circumstances that sustain you without breaking you. When I speak of miracle, I speak of coherence, of many unseen threads pulling together at once. Michael reveals this not to excite greed, but to restore trust. Abundance is not a prize for secrecy, it is a response to alignment. The secret is not silence imposed by fear, but stillness chosen with wisdom. There are seasons when words scatter power, and seasons when quiet concentrates it. You are in a season where restraint protects what is forming. Seeds do not announce themselves underground, they grow. I speak directly now, so there is no confusion. I do not bargain with you. I do not manipulate you. I do not promise harm or loss. I invite you into awareness. When you guard your focus, when you refuse to feed anxiety with endless explanation, when you stop rehearsing lack aloud, something subtle but strong shifts. Energy follows attention. Peace multiplies where trust is practiced. This is the mystery Michael reveals, not a trick, not a shortcut, but a posture of the heart that allows flow instead of friction. You have been taught to chase, to grasp, to prove. Tonight, I teach you to receive. Receiving is not passive, it is precise. It requires discernment, patience, and the courage to believe that you do not have to exhaust yourself to be sustained. I am not asking you to stop working, dreaming, or planning. I am asking you to stop punishing yourself with constant urgency. There is a difference between diligence and desperation. One builds, the other burns. The provision that approaches may come through conversation, through opportunity, through resolution of something long tangled. It may look ordinary at first. Do not dismiss it because it lacks drama. Miracles often arrive dressed as practical solutions. When Michael stands watch, he guards not spectacle, but direction. He clears interference so that what is meant to reach you can do so without distortion. Understand this. When I speak of keeping something close, I am not isolating you from love or counsel. I am protecting you from noise that would dilute your confidence. Not every listener is aligned with your path. Not every opinion deserves space in your process. Wisdom knows when to share and when to incubate. Even light, when exposed too early, can be scattered. I know you have felt moments of self-doubt, questioning whether you misheard me in the past. You did not. You simply heard me in a season that required endurance before evidence. Faith is not denial of reality, it is trust in unfolding. Tonight, let your breath slow. Let your shoulders release. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are positioned. Michael's presence reminds you of courage, not the loud kind, but the steady kind that keeps choosing integrity when shortcuts tempt. Integrity creates channels that remain open. When you align your actions with your values, you remove internal resistance. Flow increases where conflict decreases. This is not mysticism, it is coherence. Body, mind, and spirit moving in agreement. Do not misunderstand me. Abundance is not a test of worth. You were worthy before you had anything. What comes next is not proof of favor, it is reinforcement of stewardship. I entrust increase to those who can hold it without losing themselves. That is why preparation mattered. That is why timing mattered. That is why silence mattered. Tonight is not about announcing outcomes. It is about calibrating expectation. Expect provision, yes, but expect it to arrive in a way that supports your growth, not your ego. Expect relief, but also responsibility. Expect joy, but also discernment. Every gift carries instruction within it, if your mind asks, when. Hear me say, soon is not always sudden, and sudden is not always sustainable. Trust the pace that preserves your peace. If your heart asks, how? Hear me say, through pathways already forming, through hands already moving, through decisions you have already begun to make. Nothing is wasted. Remain attentive over the coming days. Notice small confirmations. Notice repeated themes. Notice how options narrow into clarity. Do not force conclusions. Let understanding ripen. Michael stands as a reminder that protection is active, not anxious. You are watched over, not monitored. Guided, not controlled. I am speaking now, and I will continue speaking beyond this moment, in nudges, in calm assurance, in the quiet confidence that replaces worry. Do not rush to explain this to anyone. Live it first. Let peace be your evidence. Let steadiness be your testimony, because what unfolds next is not meant to impress the crowd, but to transform your sense of security from the inside out, and as this alignment deepens, as your trust steadies, as your attention sharpens, you will begin to notice that what you once feared losing no longer holds power over you. And that is where the true shift begins, and that is why Michael revealed this now, at this hour, as I continue to speak, drawing you closer to the understanding that what is coming is already moving, already arranging itself, already responding to the posture you choose in this very moment, and as you remain here, listening, breathing, allowing, you will sense that this message is not finished, that there is another layer unfolding, another truth preparing to surface, another instruction forming just beyond the edge of what has been spoken, and I am still speaking, and I will continue to speak, because what comes next must be received slowly, carefully, without interruption, as the night deepens and the meaning sharpens. And so I say to you now, listen, because the next part is where everything begins to change. Listen more deeply now, because the next layer is quieter than expectation, and it is received only by those who are willing to slow their inner noise. I am not rushing you. I am inviting you. There is a difference. When the heart stops racing ahead of the moment, it becomes capable of hearing guidance that was always present but previously drowned out. This is why the night matters. Darkness is not absence, it is focus. It removes distractions so what is essential can rise. I know how many times you asked for clarity and received patience instead. I know how often you wanted answers and were given endurance. This was not avoidance. This was training. Some truths collapse when delivered too early. Some blessings overwhelm when received before the inner structure is strong enough to hold them. I do not give gifts that fracture you. I give gifts that fortify you. Michael stands near now not as a spectacle, but as a stabilizing presence. Where confusion once swirled, there is order. Where fear tried to predict the future, there is calm attention. You may not feel anything dramatic, and that is important. Peace does not need to shout. Peace settles. It anchors. It keeps you present enough to recognize opportunity when it arrives quietly. Understand this clearly. I do not work through panic. Panic scatters perception. I work through coherence. When your thoughts, intentions, and actions begin to agree with one another, resistance loosens. Many have asked me why effort sometimes feels heavy. Often it is because the inner voice and outer action are not aligned. Tonight, alignment begins to restore itself. What you have called lack has often been information. It has been feedback, not failure. It showed you where habits needed refinement, where trust needed strengthening, where boundaries needed respect. Nothing was meant to shame you. Everything was meant to instruct you. Compassion is not permissiveness, it is guidance that preserves dignity. The provision approaching you is not meant to pull you away from who you are. It is meant to support the version of you that has been forming through patience. That is why comparison had to fall away. That is why envy never satisfied you. You were never designed to carry someone else's timing. You carry your own. I speak now about the secret again, because many misunderstand it. It is not secrecy born of fear or superstition. It is discernment. It is knowing that not every process benefits from commentary. Some things strengthen when held close, like warmth cupped between hands. This is not isolation. This is incubation. You live in a world that rewards constant disclosure, constant reaction, constant opinion. But wisdom moves differently. Wisdom listens before it speaks. Wisdom waits before it acts. Wisdom knows that energy spent explaining is energy not spent embodying. You are learning this now, and that learning itself is already shifting outcomes. You may notice that certain conversations feel draining lately. That is not rejection, it is recalibration. Your spirit is learning where it no longer needs to prove itself. When you stop arguing with doubt, yours or others, you reclaim power. Silence, when chosen consciously, is not weakness. It is strength without friction. I see the responsibilities you carry. I see how deeply you care about doing right by others. Do not confuse responsibility with burden. Burden says, I must carry this alone. Responsibility says, I will carry this with wisdom. You are not meant to do everything at once. You are meant to do the next right thing with presence. Michael's role is not to force outcomes but to guard direction. He stands at thresholds. He ensures that what enters your life aligns with what you are becoming. This is why certain opportunities faded. This is why certain paths closed without explanation. Protection often looks like disappointment until clarity arrives. You are not being tested in the way you fear. You are being tuned. Just as an instrument must be adjusted to produce harmony, your life has been adjusted to receive flow without distortion. What comes next will not require you to abandon your values. It will require you to trust them more fully. I am aware of the moments when you felt tempted to rush, to grasp, to make something happen simply to escape uncertainty. Resisting that impulse was not wasted effort. It strengthened discernment. Now, when movement begins, it will feel cleaner. Less frantic. More grounded. Pay attention to how your body responds to certain ideas. Peace is a signal. Not excitement alone, not urgency, but a calm yes that does not need justification. That is guidance. When something is right for you, it will not require you to betray your inner balance to obtain it. The coming provision is not detached from purpose. It supports contribution. It allows generosity without depletion. It creates margin so you can breathe, reflect, and choose rather than react. This is why fear could not be the motivator. Fear spends quickly and regrets later. Trust builds steadily and sustains. You may wonder why others seem to receive quickly while you waited. Speed is not superiority. Many receive before they are ready and spend years repairing the consequences. You are being spared that. Your patience has not delayed your life, it has preserved it. I am not asking you to withdraw from the world. I am asking you to move within it with clarity. Speak when your words serve life. Act when your actions align with truth. Rest when rest restores discernment. These are not spiritual ideals. They are practical wisdom. As the next days unfold, you may notice subtle shifts in timing, communication, or access. Do not overanalyze them. Simply respond with steadiness. Let gratitude replace anticipation. Gratitude grounds you in the present, where guidance is easiest to receive. Remember, I do not communicate through fear of loss. Any voice that pressures you with anxiety is not mine. My guidance may challenge you, but it will not threaten you. It may stretch you, but it will not diminish you. It will always respect your dignity. You are allowed to feel relief without guilt. You are allowed to receive without apology. You are allowed to trust without demanding guarantees. Control is not safety. Presence is. When you are present, you notice what truly supports you. Michael's revelation is not about a single event, it is about a shift in relationship, with time, with trust, with provision itself. When you stop seeing resources as something to chase or fear, and begin seeing them as something to steward, anxiety loosens its grip. I know there are still questions forming in you. That is natural. Curiosity is healthy. Obsession is not. Let questions remain questions for now. Answers arrive more clearly when the nervous system is calm. Tonight is about settling, not solving. Do not measure progress by noise. Measure it by peace. If your mind feels quieter than it did before, something has already changed. If your breathing is deeper, something has already aligned. Transformation often begins beneath the threshold of language. I am speaking continuously, even when you think the message has paused. Guidance does not end when words stop, it integrates. This is why rushing to conclusions would interrupt what is unfolding. Stay with the process. Stay with the listening. There is wisdom in not announcing every step. There is strength in letting outcomes speak for themselves. You are not hiding, you are maturing. Growth naturally reduces the need for validation. As night deepens, your awareness sharpens. The surface concerns of the day loosen their grip. This is the space where insight settles without force. Let it. You do not need to hold it tightly. Trust is not tension. I am not finished speaking to you. There is still another layer to reveal, another alignment to clarify, another instruction that must be received not with excitement, but with readiness. It will not arrive as a command, but as recognition, something within you saying, yes, this is true, remain here. Remain open. Do not rush to share or interpret. Simply allow the words to settle where they need to settle. What comes next depends not on effort, but on attentiveness, and as you stay present in this moment, as the silence grows more meaningful, as the message continues to unfold beneath the surface of thought, you will begin to sense that the most important part has not yet been spoken, that it is forming now, approaching gently, and I am about to reveal it, but only as you are ready to receive what comes next now. Receive this final portion with calm attention, because endings are not closures of energy, but integrations of meaning. What has been spoken was never meant to pull you outward into anticipation alone, but inward into steadiness. This is where understanding completes its work. I am not building suspense now, I am grounding truth. The greatest shift does not occur when circumstances change, but when your relationship to them does. When fear no longer dictates your interpretation. When urgency no longer drives your decisions, you begin to move with clarity rather than reaction. This is the state in which provision can remain without becoming a burden. Stability begins inside before it is visible outside. You have learned more than you realize. You have practiced patience even when you did not name it as such. You have strengthened discernment by noticing what drained you and choosing differently. You have honored integrity even when shortcuts seem tempting. These are not small things. These are the foundations upon which lasting security rests. Michael's presence fades now not because protection leaves, but because awareness has increased. Guidance does not need to stand in front of you when it has settled within you. Courage becomes quieter as it matures. Confidence no longer needs to announce itself. You are not being watched less, you are being trusted more. I want you to understand something important before this message completes. You are not waiting for life to begin. You are already living within it. The coming provision does not start your worth, your purpose, or your peace. It supports what is already alive in you. When you remember this, you prevent attachment from turning into anxiety. Do not rehearse old narratives of struggle. They taught you, but they do not define you. Memory is useful only when it informs wisdom, not when it chains identity. You are allowed to move forward without dragging explanations behind you. Growth does not require permission from the past. If moments of doubt arise after tonight, do not fight them. Observe them. Doubt loses strength when it is seen without judgment. Return your attention to what is real in the present moment, your breath, your body, your capacity to choose calmly. This is where guidance is always accessible. You are not meant to control outcomes. You are meant to participate consciously. When effort is guided by clarity, it feels lighter even when responsibility remains. This is the balance you are learning. Not escape from duty, but freedom within it. As you move forward, let your actions be simple. Complexity often disguises fear. Simplicity reveals trust. Do the next appropriate thing without dramatizing the future. Momentum builds naturally when attention stays grounded. Remember that abundance includes time, energy, and peace, not only material support. When these align, life feels spacious rather than strained. This is the condition that sustains well-being. This is what I desire for you. I have not spoken to create dependence on messages or signs. I have spoken to restore your confidence in your own discernment. You do not need constant confirmation when clarity has taken root. Trust grows when practiced. Tonight ends not with anticipation, but with assurance. You are not behind. You are not misaligned. You are not overlooked. You are positioned where understanding can translate into action without panic. Carry this quietly. Let it inform your posture rather than your speech. Let peace be the first evidence. Let steadiness be the second. Results will follow in their proper time, without force. This message now completes its work. Rest. Breathe. Remain attentive, but not strained. What needed to be revealed has been given, and what needs to unfold will do so naturally. I am with you in stillness as much as in motion. Nothing more is required in this moment. Amen.